So let me ask you a question. When people think about Alzheimer's disease, what do they usually worry about? Memory, forgetting names, forgetting faces, forgetting where they put the keys. But what if the first thing affected isn't memory at all? A recent study looked at more than 2,000 adults between the ages of 40 and 70 and compared the eating habits with measures of cognitive functions. The researchers were particularly interested in ultra-processed foods. Not just fast food. I'm talking about the foods that dominate supermarket shelves. Packaged snacks, sugary drinks, ready-made meals, processed desserts, highly engineered foods designed for convenience and shelf life. And here's what caught my attention. The strongest signal wasn't memory. It was attention. People who consumed more ultra-processed food tended to perform worse on attention tests and also had higher scores on modifiable dementia risk index. Think about it for a second. Attention, the ability to focus, to stay engaged, to hold your concentration on a task, to follow a conversation without your mind constantly drifting away, because attention is one of the brain's fundamental functions. Before you remember information, you have to pay attention to it. Before you learn, you have to focus. Now, this study doesn't prove that ultra-processed foods cause dementia, but it raises an important question. What happens when the brain is exposed to these foods day after day, years after year? Researchers are increasingly interested in several possible pathways: inflammation, metabolic health, blood vessel health, the gut-brain connection. And while scientists are still working out the details, the broader picture is becoming harder to ignore. The brain isn't isolated from what we eat. Every meal is chemistry, every meal is information, every meal is a signal sent to the body and the brain. And maybe that's why conversations about Alzheimer's disease shouldn't begin only when memory starts failing. Maybe they should begin much earlier, at the dinner table, at the grocery store, in the daily choices that seem small at the time but accumulate over years. The question isn't whether one bag of chips will damage your brain. The question is, what kind of environment are you creating for your brain over the next 10, 20, 30 years? Because long before dementia appears, the brain may already be responding to the life we are giving it. Worth paying attention to it.